Hello, my wonderful people. How are you this evening? Don't know why my camera don't seem to be oversized, but I am here, and today a friend of mine sent me a video of TD Jakes talking about the situation that is happening over in Africa, where people are being sold at auction for $400 per person, and it makes me wonder why we're not hearing about this on the major newscast. Makes you really wonder why the major newscasts aren't reporting this story more to shed greater light on such atrocities that are taking place over there in Libya. Libya is the only known country that we are aware of that is selling people at the present. However, I would not be surprised if this goes way beyond Libya and are taking place in other regions as well. I certainly would not be surprised at that. But the fact that they can sell people and the world at large isn't reporting it. Well, I don't know if the Western world is, but most definitely, I don't know if Europe is, but most definitely it does not seem as if the Western world is reporting on this situation. And so it makes you wonder why they're not reporting this kind of news. And what is the motive behind all of it? Okay? Some of us can say that one of the motives is because they are Africans, they're black people, and no one seemed to care. Each year, tens of thousands of people pour across Libya's borders. They're refugees who are fleeing conflicts in their own countries, and they're seeking refuge in other places. And it is sad that this is the kind of treatment that they're being met with. We have to do better as a global community. We have to do much better in protecting the rights of individuals, of people the world over. Not just the rights of some, but the rights of all people. Because whether or not some want to believe it, we are all created equal in God's eyes. And as such, each and every person on this planet, men, women, boys, and girls, our rights need to be protected at all costs. The images that I am looking at on CNN's website are definitely not pretty images. They reported on this incident back in, I believe, 2017, thereabout, somewhere there, maybe earlier. They reported on it, and when you look at what's happening here in this country with the immigrants from Central and South America that are trying to come into the United States, there are reports that there are children who are caged like dogs. I believe one politician tried to go to that facility to see exactly how these children are being treated and he was blocked. In fact, he was turned away at the advice of the government, according to one newscast that I was listening to on CNN some time ago. So no one knows for sure the level of abuse or the level of atrocities that these people are facing as they try to enter the United States. But the situation goes far beyond the United States. It's now in Libya, and who knows where else. Libya is the one that we're hearing about right now. A recent clampdown by the Libyan Coast Guard means fewer boats are making it out to sea, leaving smugglers with backlog of would-be passengers on their hands. So it's a situation where people are desperate and they will do anything for a better life. That better life comes at a cost, and we definitely need to pay more attention to our brothers and our sisters in this global community. We cannot continue to ignore or neglect the fact that these things are happening. We must come together as a people, specifically black people, and do something. And do not tell me that collectively we do not have the power to bring forth change, whether it's here in this country or elsewhere. I believe that each and every one of us possess a level of power that, when come together collectively, can do great things. It's time we stop standing by and watching our brothers and sisters being slaughtered, being sold as slaves, being gunned down, being disrespected, being abused, physically, mentally, sexually, emotionally, and otherwise. This cannot continue anymore, and we need to get serious about the things that we pay attention to in our world, in our communities, in this country, in countries around the world. We cannot continuously turning a blind eye to the situation that are happening. And we really need to get serious and be about the well-being of our brothers and sisters globally. One of the things that I need to do is turn off all these notifications, because I'm getting calls that I shouldn't be getting while doing the show. However, things will get better around here. So what I'm trying to say is pretty much this. We need, and I believe this, we need to come together collectively and be about each other. Communities of black folks around the world, we can mobilize and get stuff done. If governments around the globe aren't working on our behalf in our best interest, then we have to take the initiative to do those things. We should not allow other people to dictate how our lives should be run, or how we should operate our own life. We should not allow other people to dictate what we can and cannot do. When you look at our spending power in the United States alone, imagine if we use half of what we spend to invest in the lives of people around the globe who are suffering right here at home and abroad. And I do not know who is going to take the helm to ensure that we come together collectively for the good of each and every person, for the good of our communities, for the good of our sons and daughters, grandmothers, grandfathers, aunts, nieces, uncles, and so on and so forth. Because if we continue down the path that we are heading right now, it's going to be very, very disastrous. It's not going to get better. It's going to get worse. But unless we mobilize and come together as a people and be about our business, we will continuously be enslaved, be disrespected, be gunned down, be abused, and so on and so forth. I am tired of what I'm seeing in the news media. I'm definitely tired of it. And we just cannot allow these things to happen anymore, man. Seriously, we need to do something about it. Talk is cheap. And all we've been doing is talking and marching and holding protests, and nothing seemed to be getting better. What's up with that? What's up with it? You know, the tendency for people like myself who speak out about injustice is for those who are watching, or at least some of those people who are watching, to discredit what I am saying, what others are saying, and pretty much just sweep everything underneath the rug and pretend as if none of it is happening. We're seeing this played out in the situation with the NFL, where they're implementing rules and regulations to ensure that we do not voice our opinion freely, but instead voice their opinion in the ways they feel like having us voice our opinion. No. That is a form of slavery. That is a form of dictatorship. And it has no place in American society. It has no place in societies anywhere in this world. It's about time we do something to empower and embolden each other to take that next step and do something that is going to resound globally and raise up a movement of black folks who are about empowering each other and our communities. There's so much that I have to talk about, and it seems sometimes as if that there's not enough time to talk about these things, because I really don't want to go too long with these discussions. But I'm going to leave this final thought with each and every one of us. You see these things on Facebook every day, so at least some of it, because they're not reporting the full story. But you see some of it, some of the headlines on Facebook. You see people posting videos of brutality happening the world over, and a lot of it right here in the United States. We see them every day. And these things have become the norm to the point where it does not affect some of us anymore. We lack the emotion. We lack the sensitivity. You see? Well, I'm here to tell you that each and every time I see one of those videos, I can't watch it anymore. I click away from it and I move on to something else, because quite frankly, it stirs the anger inside of me. And that is not a good thing. So I can imagine if it's doing that to me, how many others out there that these videos are doing the same thing too. And how many times do you sit and thought to yourself, if there's only something that I can do? So imagine how many of us collectively have that same thought. If only there's something that we can do as a people. Imagine if we all act upon it. It's time to start a movement. It's time to be about our brothers' well-beings, not just here in this country, but globally. No longer can we sit back and allow the injustices that we're seeing played out each and every day across this nation and across the world. Time for us to start writing to our leaders, not just here in this country, but whatever country you're in and you're watching this video right now. Start bombarding them with emails and letters and have a plan in place. Let them know what you are about to do or what you will contribute to this movement. Collectively, we can make a huge difference. Collectively, we can have a voice. And I get it. A lot of people are selfish. A lot of people always think about themselves and what's in it for them, never about other people, their plight and what they may be facing, their plight rather, and what they may be facing on a daily basis. Sometimes I get so riled up, I mispronounce words and stuff like that. But it's okay. It's quite fine with me. We have to stop being so selfish. We have to start thinking about everyone, man, not just yourself. We can make this world a much better place. I believe that wholeheartedly. We can make this world a much better place if we start at home, start in your community, start discussing ways in which to make changes. Time to start planning and implementing. You know, one of the things I am sure of, I was placed on this world or on this planet for a reason. Sometimes I'm not quite sure what that reason is. But one thing I'm quite sure of is that I have a heart for people. Blacks, whites, Indians, Chinese, I have a heart for people. It doesn't matter what color you are. Doesn't matter your ethnicity. Oh God, I can't pronounce the word. Ethnicity. There you go. But I definitely have a heart for people. And I've always been for the underdog. In everything that I try to do, I've always been for the underdog. And no longer can I just sit back and watch all of these injustices playing out and not voice my opinion about it. It's impossible for me to do. And it's interesting because years ago, I never felt I had a voice. Years ago, I wouldn't speak out about certain things. But as you get older, as you mature, and as you analyze each and every situation that you see playing out around you, you realize that no longer can you sit back and say nothing or do nothing. And I am urging everyone out there, blacks, white, yellow, brown, whatever, if you have a heart for people, regardless of their race, their religious backgrounds, their sexuality, their religion, regardless of all of that, if you have a heart for people, start reaching out to each and every one of them. And it starts right in your community. Start reaching out to people. Start meeting in groups and come up with ideas and a plan of action that you can implement and get something done. It all starts with each and every one of us. Do not tell me that it is impossible. Do not tell me that it cannot be done. Do not tell me that you do not have a voice. Do not tell me that there is nothing that you can do. We all can do something to change the current state of what's happening in our communities, in our country, and in the world at large. We all can play a part. We're seeing movements popping up, like the Me Too movement. We've seen that. We've seen how powerful that has become over the last year or so. Now, if those people can mobilize and get stuff done and have such powerful voice about the sexual misconducts against women, what make you believe that you cannot mobilize and organize in similar fashion about the injustices that are happening, and also bring forth change? People hate on the Black Lives Matter movement, but they've shed light on a lot of things. And as much as they have done, there's still a lot more to do. The movement needs to expand. People need to start getting up off their butts and become more active in movements such as the Black Lives Matter movement. Mobilize in whatever movement you want to mobilize in, as long as it's for the well-being of us as a people. Put aside your differences. Put aside your hatred. Put aside all the negative stuff that you may have thought about others, and just do what we have to do, man. I am sick and tired of being sick and tired of the hate that I see playing out each and every day. Don't tell me that you've become so complacent and so immune to all of this mess. Don't tell me that you've become so insensitive to the plight of others that you just turn a blind eye each and every time you see it happening. Do not tell me that you have accepted these things as the norm in our society. Do not tell me that because you're comfortable in your own little corner that you cannot reach out and do something in someone else's corner. Do not tell me that, because I refuse to believe any of it. There's so much power each and every one of us have. And there's far more greater power that we possess as a collective body. But we have to tap into these things. You have to make up in your mind that you can be a part of the change for the better. If you want to make America great, if you want to make the world great, then you must have a seat at the table in order to bring about that greatness. Do not rely on your politicians, because they're in this thing for their own opportunities and their own good. They're not in it for the good of the people, and you're watching this play out each and every day. Don't think that they are thinking about your best interest. It's about their best interest and what's in it for them. This is the United States of America. The cash is taken from the small guys and line the pockets of the rich and powerful. This system is designed to keep you down. This system is designed to keep you in poverty. How much longer are you going to remain in the place that you've been? How much longer are you going to find? How much longer is it going to take for you to find your voice and to become an active member of your community? How much longer? Talk is cheap. It's time we take real action. It's time we mobilize and take real action. Action is where it's at. You're doing stuff that we all can see. That's a good thing. That's what we need. Tired of talking. The more you talk, the more you lose your way. Have a good evening.
This has been another episode of On Point. We're staying on purpose for our communities. In all that you do, remember to keep it on point.